Hello, my loyal listeners. Welcome to part 3 of 3 of our 3-part series on the metaverse. In particular, Facebook's / Meta's Horizon Worlds virtual reality shit show. Thank you for listening. This is Technology Blows. I'm your host, Dan Sliman. And I'm here with my guest for this 3-parter, my friend and nephew, LA comedian Anderson Gronvold. Anderson, welcome back for part 3. I'm so happy that you've stayed with us for this whole thing and not just noped out halfway through part 2. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me again. I was going to say, I maybe coincidentally or subconsciously started watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy during this podcast series. And it does feel like I'm on the 3rd one now, and this 3rd episode does feel like we're heading to Mount Doom.
Yeah. Well, I've got good news for you. That's what the theme is today. We're gonna track down Mark Zuckerberg, and we're gonna make sure he throws that Oculus headset into the fires of the volcano, even if we have to bite his finger off.
And Oppie will fall in after it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oppie. Yeah, exactly. Oppie's been following us the whole way. So before we get started, Anderson, how can people find your stuff online if they want to follow you? Because you're a very funny comic.
Thank you. Check me out on Instagram, Anderson_Gronvold.
Check Anderson out on Instagram, Anderson_Gronvold. Check me out on Instagram, Dan Sliman, no underscore, and Tech Blows on TikTok. We got some content. We're making content. That's what people like, right?
Oh yeah. And to make sure not to look up Blow Tech, because that will get you something very different, very private.
The underscore or lack thereof is very important in the name of the account. Yeah.
Correct.
So speaking of Instagram, Anderson, I know you saw this on my Instagram, but I'm still thinking about it. Boz, so we talked about Boz in the last 2 episodes, the CTO of Meta. He has a pending patent right now, which he filed in October of 2024, called Contextual Time-Based Digital Representations, which is a bit of a mouthful of a patent that essentially just means you force an AI to read all of your dead grandfather's Facebook posts, and then the AI can pretend to be your dead grandfather so that he's never really gone and you always can talk to his avatar.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Hopefully it doesn't pick up too much on Grandpa's racist phase.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking I'm not interested. The only one of my grandparents who regularly posted on Facebook is the one I at least want to talk to.
As it usually goes.
Yeah. Although, I bet it would be a really accurate simulation because all his Facebook posts were like rage bait Fox News stories, and that's also all he talked about in person.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it could nail him then.
Yeah. Except he died in 2007, so his virtual avatar would have all like 2007 conspiracy theories instead of might be like
play.
Yeah, Keith Ellison is a Sharia sleeper agent. What?
Huh?
Keith Ellison? Oh, you just want to sit around and wait for Saddam to put anthrax in your gay wedding cake. Yeah. What? I'm not gay, Grampy Jim.
Green Day performed for Al-Qaeda in the caves.
They really took it to Al-Qaeda when they did perform in the caves, though. They had some like really sick liberal takes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Call me old-fashioned, but I say there's only two right ways to talk to your dead loved ones. You either lull the 3-headed dog guarding the gates of Hades asleep by playing a beautiful melody on your lyre, or you take a fuckload of mescaline. And if you're not doing either of those things, you're not really talking to your dead relatives. It's just a trick that Boz is playing on you.
Nope. This is going to simplify it.
Yep. So everybody go out and take as much mescaline as you can get. So I was like, well, what other patents does Boz have? Maybe I can find a more fun one in here. And I did. I found a patent for a virtual reality hat.
I think I saw this one.
Yeah, so I'm going to share it here just so to refresh your memory here. This is a virtual reality hat. It is a hat. It's so for those listening, imagine a baseball cap and the just the glasses section of like a cataract glasses that rests on the bridge of your nose. It's just the glass part. and it's hanging down from the brim of the hat, so it's in front of the wearer's eyes. And this is how Boz, and this was in 2019, but this was how Boz thought maybe people might want to enjoy virtual reality, is to just have this like the dorkiest garment I've ever seen.
Horrible. This is honestly like this could be like the iconography of how tragic all of this technology is, because it's like a hat is literally something you put on to go outside to cover yourself in the
Yeah,
sun, and now you
yeah.
have virtual reality glass hanging down from it. It's just
The hat will protect you from the sun, and now you can also be protected from the world itself.
exactly
There's a couple different versions of this.
for the visor for baristas.
There's a visor for if you play, you have your barista, or you're playing golf. You're playing golf, but you don't actually want to be out there on the course, because who actually wants to be on a golf course? Just jack in. And then there's a fedora down here, which rules.
Yeah,
Um,
those would probably sell. That's the model I'm imagining would sell.
these would absolutely sell. You could sell a ton of these. I don't know why they didn't go for it. I finally have this picture of a whole guy. Well, most of a guy. He's missing that bottom half of his
Yeah.
legs, and he's holding his hand in front of the crotch of his pants, like he's about to touch something.
And he's about to throw up the blood sign with his other hand.
He's making a little gesture with one hand, where he's wearing like a special watch, presumably on his wrist, and he's making like a little gesture that will control the keyboard or whatever that's hooked up to his virtual reality hat. He definitely looks dangerous.
He might be whacking something. He might be whacking the penguin.
He might be, yeah, he might. I think it would be safe if you saw this guy doing whatever this guy's doing to assume he's whacking the penguin and get the fuck away from this guy. So yeah, so Boz doesn't only file bad patents. Boz also sometimes files very funny patents. Speaking of things that look too dorky to exist, in August of 2022, to promote the launch of Horizon Worlds in France and Spain, Mark Zuckerberg posted a metaverse selfie. Do you remember this, Anderson? The Mark Zuckerberg Eiffel Tower selfie?
Vaguely, I think I will probably need to see it to jog my memory here.
This is a selfie of Mark Zuckerberg's Horizon Worlds avatar, which looks like if you found an old doll in your attic possessed by the vengeful spirit of a child that died in the Nazi invasion of France. If it was just like a little haunted doll that you found, and then it started saying creepier and creepier things to you, that's what this. You don't need to exist in the real world. Come with me.
Yep. Yeah. No. Exactly.
This is at this point. This is 2022. They've already sunk something like at least $30 billion into this project. And this is what it looks like. In the background, there's a low poly model of the Eiffel Tower. And then further in the background is an even lower poly model of what I think is supposed to be the Sagrada Familia, a famous church in Barcelona. And this is all on a flat green plane with some like SimCity 2000 ass little deciduous trees in the background.
Yeah, and some mountains, I guess.
I don't know what those are supposed to be. They're like the mountains in the background of Mario, kind of.
Right.
It almost like looks like the world is being devoured by a world spanning caterpillar of some sort. But welcome to the metaverse. Here's what Mark Zuckerberg's bringing.
So this is the launch of Horizon Worlds in France and Spain.
Yes. Yeah. Can you imagine being a French or Spanish person and seeing this and being like,
What is this? You put virtual cigarettes in there, though. You got the French.
yeah, I know, but there's no cigarettes in the metaverse. Well, you could probably make a cigarette in the metaverse. They should have tried it. It would at least look cool.
It would.
He's looking real bad. And so because of this pathetic image, there was a really fun day on Twitter where everyone just put aside their petty differences and spent all day dunking on this dumbass picture. like British and German soldiers playing a spontaneous game of soccer in the no man's land between the trenches. Everybody just like came together and shat all over this stupid picture, which I thought was really beautiful.
The last time I remember feeling unified.
Yeah.
Now, it seems like every launch of metaverse related tech has been horrible. And so are we just picking the funniest, most horrible ones, or are these literally just chronologically what is launching and they all blow?
A lot of it blows real hard, and we're gonna see more that blows later. I think they are just very bad at imagining what people might like or think is good. They're just like not good at that. I don't know. Some of it was less, some of the launches of stuff were less cringy, but that's also, yeah, that's less fun to talk about on the podcast. And it really, it's a high density, it really is a high density of cringe. I mean, when the product looks like this and feels like it does, it's really hard not to create, because if you, the only way to make it not cringe is to not use actual footage from Meta Horizon Worlds, because the whole thing just looks terrible.
Yes, yeah, so you're in a bit of a pickle there, I guess.
Right, right. Twitter user CD Hooks said, "This looks like a 2002 Nintendo GameCube release called World Baby." And Lord Beef says simply, "In Fortnite, you can be Goku with a shotgun."
Get him, Lord Beef.
Everybody loves dunking on Mark Zuckerberg. It's the best. In response to all this, because Mark Zuckerberg actually absolutely cannot handle being dunked on, he posts a picture of a more realistic kind of avatar that Meta Reality Labs is working on called a Codex avatar, which is going to look more like a real person, and it does. And then also he posts a 3D render of an ancient Roman garden, because he's such a fucking weebulous. Weebulous, by the way, is a word I made up. I want everybody to start using it for someone who's like a weeb, but for ancient Rome. This is legitimately the most hilarious way to respond to people on the internet making fun of what a dork you are, is to be like, "Hey, I'm not a dork. Look, I had my social media company mock up this radical ancient Roman garden, or a peristylum."
Yeah. I mean, again, it's just like anything in the world you could make and imagine, and it's just
Yeah.
the basics.
So things aren't going so hot for the metaverse in August of 2022, but at least that metaverse selfie, that in that green background with the SimCity trees, however uninspiring, at least looked serene and safe. It looked like a safe place to be. Nothing bad is going to happen to you there unless Mark Zuckerberg decides to talk to you. And so if all of Horizon Worlds were that safe as that picture, it might actually be nice to spend some time there. But alas, in January of 2022, so right when Horizon Worlds comes out of beta, British psychotherapist and researcher Nina Jane Patel logs into the game, and within 60 seconds, 3 or 4 male avatars sexually assault her. Within 60 seconds. They're taking photos and sending photos to her, and she's running away, and they're yelling after her and taunting her. It's really bad. I won't repeat the taunts. You can read them online. It's well documented, but it's fucking heinous. Another female researcher who was sexually assaulted in Horizon Worlds within minutes of joining the game recalled, quote, "It happened so fast, I kind of disassociated. One part of my brain was like, what the fuck is happening? The other part was like, this isn't a real body. And another part was like, this is important research." Which is a haunting quote that I think a lot about since I read it. It's bad to be doing this to people.
And instantaneous is, I mean,
Right away.
think about
Bam.
all the people not reporting it. Crazy.
Right. There's probably a lot of people who don't even know what just happened, right? But then there's probably a lot, yeah, there's probably a lot of people who are just like, okay, well, I'm done with this now. Like this is, I played
Right.
this
Yeah.
for 90 seconds and I already got
They're
sexually
like,
assaulted. I guess this game's not for me.
oh, of course this is what it would be. My bad.
Right. Right. Well, glad I checked it out. Yeah, it's the plaza really is the main big problem. The plaza is, like we talked about last time, is like a rainbow colored floating island in Horizon Worlds where you first arrive when you join the game. where you can like make paper airplanes and shit. And the reason it's such a problem is that it's the default spot you appear. So if you're an experienced player, you know where you're headed, you know where you're trying to go, and you can just teleport to where you're trying to go and you jet immediately from the plaza. You don't hang out in the plaza. Why would you hang out in the plaza, right? So who's left in the plaza then? Well, first, noobs who don't know what else they should be doing yet or how to stay safe. Second of all, guides who, as we talked about, are not there to protect anyone from anything. And finally, of course, predators, because predators are naturally going to hang out wherever there are vulnerable people, and that's the plaza. So the space that's supposed to be the most welcoming, peaceful, happy place in Horizon Worlds just becomes a cesspool of griefers and sex pests. It's like a perfect storm. This happens in I feel like this happens in MMO games, like MMORPG games, where like you never want to engage with the chat in town because it's just full of trolls, and like there's no reason. You would just get in your party chat and get out of town, right?
Yeah. And God forbid you're a woman.
God forbid you're a woman. Yeah, it's not good for anybody, but it's especially bad for women. Yeah, like a lot of things.
The one exception.
Right. Right.
Sorry,
Woof.
guys. We're working on it.
Yeah, it's a cesspool, as I said. But is a cesspool gonna stop Boz?
Hell no.
Boz can't be defeated by a little thing as mundane as rampant verbal and sexual abuse. Get real. Also, Meta has sunk tens of billions of dollars into this thing, so it has to work. But Boz is not blind to reality. He knows, he sees that people don't like hanging out in Horizon Worlds. They don't even like it if they work for Meta. Well, that's not entirely true. Some people in Meta like to hang out in the metaverse. Vishal Shah, the VP of Metaverse, you'll remember from part 2 for his riveting making eye contact with his coworkers while they describe their vacations story. Vishal Shah says in 2022, in an interview, he's asked how much time he spends in the metaverse, and he says, a couple of hours doing work and then a couple of hours for fun. He also says, there are things I cannot do in the physical world that I can only do in the headset, which is an unsettling thing to say.
And there's nothing more to that quote?
Nope.
Is that where the quote ends?
That's where the quote ends, yeah. So he said that to me, and I was in a room with him, even a virtual room, I would be like, okay, this interview's over, bye-bye.
Yeah. I'm going dark.
Yeah, no further questions. So he likes it. Good for him. Some people like it. Anyway, in September of 2022, Vishal Shah sends out a memo to his Horizon team at Meta. He says, for many of us, we don't spend that much time in Horizon, and our dog fooding dashboards show this pretty clearly. Do you have any idea, Anderson, what dog fooding dashboards means?
Dan, I was about to ask, because I have no
Yeah.
fucking clue what that means.
So in tech, there's this thing called eating your own dog food that people like to do, where if you make a product, you should use it because then you'll know what's good and bad about it, and you'll have realistic expectations about it. That's called eating your own dog food, which is not a good metaphor. This always struck me as a terrible metaphor because it's like, no, if you work at a company that makes dog food, you should not eat the dog food. Why would you do that? That's not helpful. Right? You should feed the dog food to your dog, but that's what it's called.
Sounds like there could be a much better metaphor in place.
Drink your own martinis if you're making martinis or something.
Literally, just substitute any human food. Eat your own cake.
Right. Right. Nope.
Have your own burger. Whatever.
Right. And that's not what they call it. They call it eat your own dog food. So dog fooding dashboards means they've done this thing where Vishal Shah on his computer has a graph that shows how much time every day all of his reports are spending in the metaverse, on their metaverse. He has their helmet, their like Oculus IDs all hooked into this system, and he's pulling out metrics to make sure that everybody's spending enough time in the metaverse to fall in love with it. Sounds like a pleasure. Sounds like a pleasure to work for Vishal Shah. In September of 2022, Vishal sends an email to the Metaverse division in which he says he's making a plan to, quote, hold managers accountable for having their teams use Horizon at least once a week. He says, Everyone in the organization should make it their mission to fall in love with Horizon Worlds. You can't do that without using it. Get in there. Organize times to do it with your colleagues and friends.
It makes sense, because if everybody was just forced to use it, then they would use it.
Yeah, it's like a field test of what happens if you just get control of everybody's lives and withhold their rent until they use your software. People use it.
100%.
Yeah, this must have been a rough time to be friends with someone who works at Meta. Because this is like September of 2022. You can go to bars again, and your friend's like, hey, let's meet up in the metaverse. Bro, where? No. What? Are there strip clubs in the metaverse? I'm not going to the fucking metaverse with you.
No, bro, it's actually more fun.
Yeah, I met this guy last night. He's a world breaker.
Yeah. Then he had to run, though, because someone was saying racist things down in the lobby. I bet for a lot of people, though, they were so smug about working at Meta.
Oh, yeah.
And then to hear that they had to do that would be a little bit sweet.
That's true. People do like to talk a lot about how they work at Meta. That's true. Oh, you work at Meta? Oh, you work in Horizon Worlds, huh? So...
Yeah, we need a slur for VR users, but I don't think we have one yet. It's not popular enough for there to be a slur yet.
Well, we'll get it there.
That should be a KPI for Vishal.
It would mean people were paying attention, which was kind of his job. Yeah, his diagnosis is that the game is too buggy. He seems to think. I mean, I think he's not allowed to say people don't like the game because it's a bad idea, right? Because he's the VP of Metaverse, so he can't admit to the obvious fact that like it's the kids running around and screaming, and also the sexual predators that are like probably the main reason people don't like being there. So he has to say like there's too many bugs. We're putting, so he puts it on like a quality lockdown for the rest of the year. Well, where nobody is. Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah,
best news the Meta employees ever received.
Well, they probably still had to use it while they're he basically puts them all to work being world breakers. And so like they're like no more new features until we get control of all these bugs and make it easy enough to use. Which I don't think that's it, because for example, one of my favorite video games of all time, and also one of Mark Zuckerberg's favorite video games of all time, if you believe the 2021 Meta keynote, is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is like one of the buggiest fucking games I've ever played, but it's fun. Right? So like I don't think it was the bugs.
No, I mean if a game is fun enough, like people will ignore the rest of, it doesn't have to look beautiful or whatever.
Right.
If the fundamental thing works.
It just has to have the one thing that I think Meta is fundamentally incapable of providing, which is a creative vision.
Yeah.
It's also probably not fun that still nobody has legs. So let's talk about legs. Legs are a non-starter for Horizon Worlds. The main reason avatars don't have legs is that the MetaQuest headset can't tell where your legs are, right? So if your avatar did have legs and you look down at your legs, that your legs wouldn't be in the position that your brain knows your real legs are in, and you'd be like, what the fuck? And it would make you physically ill. So that's why you don't have legs.
And it knows where your hands are because you have like the gloves, right?
You have the gloves on, yeah. Gotcha. Or the you're using there's these little controllers that you hold in your hands.
Okay.
Right. So it knows where your hands are, and it knows roughly where your like neck and shoulders are, and probably your chest, because it knows where your hands are and it knows where your head is. And it has cameras on the outside. So it can infer some stuff about like what angle you're at, right? Because it can make an image of the room you're in and figure out what you're doing with your body to some extent. It still glitches out a lot, but it can mostly get that stuff. But it can't see your legs, right? which has been a source of constant embarrassment for Horizon Worlds. It's like every time the press mentions their game, they're like, nobody has legs. Why would you play it? Why would you do this if you can't have fucking legs? Uh, and of course, so like again, because Mark Zuckerberg cannot handle being dunked on, in October of 2022, at the Meta Connect keynote, Zuck announces that legs are finally coming to Horizon Worlds. And so, in a short demo, he and a colleague, as their avatars, demonstrate what this brand new leg functionality is like, and it works miraculously well. I'm gonna show you a clip from the keynote to show you how well how good these legs are.
There's one more feature coming soon that's probably the most requested feature on our roadmap. Legs.
Legs. I know you've been waiting for this.
I think everyone has been waiting for this.
So that was pretty cool. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
They did, like, she did a karate kick. He did a
He
jump.
jumped.
Yeah, pretty impressive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a great demo. Perfectly real time, no glitches,
And the avatars look better too.
and the avatars looked really good.
You can see more detail on Zuck's shitty hairline in this one.
Yeah,
It's more refined.
He looks less human, which is how you know it's working.
Yeah, that's how you know it's more accurate.
Yeah. It's like a quantum leap in leg tracking technology in VR. They've solved it almost overnight. Except not exactly, because as it comes out the very next day, this demo was not created using the Meta Quest headset at all. People who know VR technology watch this keynote and immediately they're all like, no, they're lying. This is a hoax. This is not real. And indeed, it was created using motion capture.
Damn.
Yeah.
What a stupid play.
Right. Obviously, people are going to ask.
Yeah, you know that famous saying, overpromise and underdeliver?
Right.
No, it's the other way around.
So, like, the next day, when people find out about this, Meta turns around and they're like, oh no, this was just like a far future thing that we were saying we could one day create if we set our minds to it. This is what the metaverse could be like. People could have legs, which is just obvious fucking bullshit, because everybody knows what it would be like if you could have legs. You'd have legs. We know what legs look like. You don't need to spend $1 million on a mocap studio and a team of animators to get people to show people a demo of what legs look like.
No, not at all. What are you getting into this? What they actually look like with the leg thing, or
yes.
did they not even launch anything? They're just like, this is in the future.
We'll get to that, but it's definitely they do not have, even in 2026, as far as I know, they do not have anything that you would think of as like realistic legs.
Got it.
But they said they were gonna, and I mean they rented out a mocap studio. They Mark Zuckerberg put the tennis balls on. I think they may even have hired Andy Serkis to come in and play Mark Zuckerberg. That's unconfirmed. This would be like if Tesla claimed they'd solved self-driving cars, and then to prove it, they showed a demo of a car driving around a neighborhood for 10 minutes, but then it came out that the car was just following a pre-programmed route and didn't actually know how to navigate any of the roads.
Totally.
Which did happen in 2016. Everybody's doing it.
Tech blows, man.
Yeah, I know.
Tech people blow.
Yeah. Oh, so you're saying people might not catch me if I lie about this? All right, here we go.
Greenlit. You've been on product launches though, right?
Mm-hmm.
How scared are you the night before somebody in technology of a product launch? Are you expecting it to go to shit?
I used to be that way. At this point, I'm in operations, so it's going to be my job usually to like help get everybody to figure out why it's broken after it breaks. And so the night before, I'm usually pretty calm. And I just kind of live my life until I get paged, and then it's time to deal with it. I'm able to like kind of shut that dread off.
Right, because that's your job.
Yeah. Yeah. Like nobody's going to be mad at me because generally people aren't going to be mad at me unless I'm the one that brought the site down. If it got brought down because we got so much traffic and we weren't able to deal with it, then that's fine. We solved that problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. And I bet Mark Zuckerberg wasn't losing sleep about whether the legs demo would go well the next day. I'm sure he
Because he
thought it would.
doesn't sleep.
Right.
He hangs upside down for 6 hours with his eyes wide open.
He doesn't sleep, but he sort of covers himself in wet mud and goes into a semi-comatose state for several months. Yeah, man. It was terrible. I don't really think, like, I was wondering, okay, well, maybe, technology's moving pretty fast. Maybe they will come up with some way to actually do VR leg tracking, but I don't know. I don't think there's a realistic solution to this problem with the existing technology. So they've researched like using the cameras on the headset to look down and look at your legs and see where your legs are. Of course that doesn't work because your shoulders are in the way. And also if you tilt your head, now like one of the cameras is looking at your neck and the other one's looking at the ceiling. That's never going to work. Another option they've researched is using physical trackers that you strap to your legs. Meta's after the mass market. They need the mass market to come onto the metaverse in order for it to be self-sustaining and profitable, right? It can't all just be Palmer Luckies and Mark Zuckerbergs who are true VR believers and are willing to spend 20 minutes strapping on equipment before every time they jack into the metaverse. That's not gonna bring them the market they need. And then recently, Meta started looking into a new approach. You take the upper body data that you have from the helmet, like the head position and the shoulder position and everything, and you use that data to predict leg positions you run it through an AI model to predict where the legs are. This is the one that really proves, I think, that Meta has no idea how they're going to make VR legs a thing. Because that's nonsense to me. AI is like the final Hail Mary of any doomed project. Basically, if there's anything you can't do with your existing technology, you can claim that AI will be able to do it in 5 years because nobody knows what AI will be able to do in 5 years. And then everybody will be like, oh, great. Yeah, you're going to use AI for that.
Nice.
It does not make any sense to me. First of all, the upper body just doesn't provide enough data to make that inference. Right? You can't tell if somebody were in a, if you had somebody wearing like a big 1800s crinoline dress so you couldn't see where their legs or feet were, you would not be able to tell me from just looking at their upper body, no matter how long you looked at them, what they were doing with their legs. That's not a thing.
True.
Right? And second of all, it needs to be real time. You need to be able to update the leg positions like as fast as somebody moves their legs. AI is many things, but it's not low latency. Like by the time the data goes out of the headset, over the internet, out to Meta's AI data center, and their model does its little calculation, and the result comes back to your headset, your virtual legs have already been in the wrong position for hundreds of milliseconds or more, and you're already puking.
Yeah.
It's just not doable, guys.
And it seems awesome that we're trying to develop technology strictly with mass market appeal in mind. That seems like the best way to develop and make sure that technology's good.
That's the only way to do it, yeah. Once you're Meta's size, nothing else makes sense as a strategy, right?
The bunkers don't build themselves. Which I don't know if you saw. Did you see like I think there's like a compilation going around online of like people asking billionaires if they have bunkers. And I think it was like Sam Altman who's like, I wouldn't call it a bunker. It's more of like a basement with concrete walls. And it's like it is. And then Zuck has some similar response.
He has the definition of it's definitionally a bunker.
100%.
Yeah.
In Hawaii
Um,
or New Zealand or something?
in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah. He hired like a third of the island to build it for him. Everybody under NDA.
Literally like a Dr. Evil volcano lair.
It is. Yes. And I'm sure he'll be very safe and happy there. I'd love to visit.
Yeah. Zuck, if you're watching,
Yeah,
no matter
Zuck,
what we said, we'd love to come.
call in. Yeah, so as of 2026, legs are still unsolved in Horizon World. They sort of dangle around. Your avatar does not have legs. When you look down, you still don't have legs. Other people have legs, but they just sort of dangle around underneath their bodies like a marionette.
They drag along the concrete, the virtual concrete.
They're just sort of like sliding around lazily. It is not a good place to go if you like having legs. Now, of course, someday, who knows? Technology and money are very powerful. Maybe someday they can get the in-game economy rolling downhill and start raking in some transaction fees, and then they'll be able to like work on the legs problem. To do that, they need consumers and brands to spend money in the metaverse, and they need creators to create worlds worth going to. That's how they're going to make the economy go in game. There are a lot of obstacles to this, not least of which is that nobody likes the product. But one attempt to kickstart the in-game economy comes in 2022 when Meta partners with Jordan Peele's production company, Monkey Paw Productions, to create Nope World. This is a world where fans can immerse themselves in the incredible science fiction world of the trailer for Nope. Now, Anderson, I'm not going to play this on the actual podcast, but Anderson, here's the trailer for Nope to refresh your memory of what's in the trailer for Nope.
Did you know that the very first assembly of photographs to create a motion picture was a 2-second clip of...
All right, I just showed Anderson the trailer for Nope. If you want to follow along with this conversation, just go watch the trailer for Nope. It's a great trailer. Okay. Now I'm going to play you a clip of Nope World, which was built by creators who had no knowledge whatsoever of the plot of the film beyond what's in the trailer, so that they couldn't accidentally like make any spoilers or give anybody any spoilers. And we'll see if we can spot any differences, or if they just completely nailed the execution and like we can't tell it's not the same exact video we just watched. All right,
I'm ready.
here we go. So that's Nope World.
Holy shit. I can't believe that went live. It's worse than you can imagine.
It really, you should go watch it, listeners. It's incredibly bad.
It's hard to even describe.
One thing worth describing is, I don't know if you've seen Nope, but there's a lot of horses in it. They can't do horses.
That's 4 legs. I mean,
Mark Zuckerberg doesn't have room in his basement.
Nope is just funny too because like it is sci-fi, but it's also like imagine Southern California. Like that's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing that crazy about it.
Right, that's true. It's not. They could have done like another planet, or they could have been interstellar world or something.
The editors on that trailer must have been cracking up putting that together.
Yeah. Another thing is the royalty-free music, which just really takes the wind out of the sails of the movie. I feel like everything looks so silly and janky. Everybody's just jerking around at like 4 frames per second. I don't know why they couldn't just put horses in. Maybe they haven't yet built a Quest helmet big enough for a horse's head, or maybe the horses couldn't figure out how to run with no legs and they were just flopping around on the ground. Mark Zuckerberg had to come put him out of their misery. I don't know, but it doesn't work without the horses. One of the visual elements in Nope that's so arresting is that the field is full of these like wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube men. They have those in Nope World, but they don't move. They cannot. They stay still, and the people in Nope World look more like flapping car dealership advertisements than the actual props do.
Totally.
Yeah, there's another video which I won't show now where Jordan Peele and Keke Palmer both try putting on the helmet and traveling to Nope World as a publicity stunt, and they have to pretend that they are proud of it or like it, which is very fun. And they had a budget. Like this was a collaboration between Monkey Paw Studios and Meta. Like they had money to work with to create this, and this is the best that they could do. They were going to do an Us world and a Get Out world. They had plans to do that, but as far as I can tell, those never came to be. I can't imagine why.
You know what? We've taken a lot of shots. Credit to them for not making Get Out world. Good job. Good job, Meta.
Relive the magic of Get Out.
Oh, yeah, racial terror.
You're just in the sunken world the whole time. The sunken place.
We made the sunken world.
Just imagine what your life could be like. Incredible. I mean, that kind of would be like, if they had a creative bone in their body at Meta, it could be cool to do like a Get Out based VR experience where you're stuck in someone else's body. That could be horrifying and cool.
Totally.
Another major problem with getting the economy going is that any content you buy in Horizon Worlds is world locked, meaning it can only be used in the world where you bought it. So, for example, if Nope World wanted to sell any merchandise like OJ's iconic Scorpion King crew hoodie or Ricky Park's red flowery Sky Lasso experience suit, that clothing could only be worn in Nope World.
Gotcha. And you'd pay real money for it.
You pay real money for it. You can only wear it in Nope World, which I don't know. It didn't look like there was much else to do in Nope World. You could do the hay bale tossing game for a while, but that probably get bored of that.
Yeah, what does Nope World look like in 10 years? Who's still going? And who's
it's
going
to be the only place anybody goes, and everybody's going to be wearing the Ricky Park suit. They could even have done the Gordy's home experience, where all of your castmates in this sitcom that you're in get murdered by a chimpanzee.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
That'd be great. So you can't bring the clothes if you're selling merchandise. User can't take it anywhere else, even though they paid real money for it. And also, the creator of the item can change it after purchase. They can do whatever they want. It's digital. So, like, for example, if you go to Nope World and buy the birthday party hat worn by the lovable chimp Gordy from the film, and then you take it out of even if you could take it out of the world, Monkey Paw Studios could just decide, okay, now instead of being a birthday party hat, it has an ad for our next movie on it, and everybody who bought the hat is now a walking advertisement for, the next movie we're gonna make. You have no guarantee that it's gonna stay a hat, which fucking sucks. Finally, maybe the biggest thing hindering the development of a creator economy in Horizon Worlds is Meta's insistence on building their own generative AI content creation tools, right? For example, they built a Gen AI clothing design tool where you can prompt it to generate clothes, and then those clothes will become wearable in-game items. So why would creators make a unique in-game clothes if they're just going to get undercut by this Gen AI slop that Meta promotes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I looked into this tool. The tool isn't even fucking good. In fact, it blows absolute chunks. Here's an official Meta tutorial from September of 2025, so less than half a year ago. This is Meta Horizon Creator. Sorry, this is a mouthful. Meta Horizon Creator Program Mentor Space Glitter Unicorn, leading her students through the process of creating an AI garment in the official Meta Horizon World's clothing creation tool.
What's cool about our community is people have really pushed the limits on what these silhouettes can do. Like, for example, you see a hoodie, but people have turned these hoodies into like armor or like uniforms, like really cool stuff. So sound off in the chat. What should I put as the prompt for this one hoodie? And don't be afraid to get creative. A janitor, all right. What color? So janitor's uniform, hunter, green. I see orange, so with orange detail.
You're going to be blown away.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and generate. Let's see what we got. I like that we can zoom in. So with your middle mouse button, you can zoom in and out, which is really, really cool. Let's see.
That's so cool.
It does take time, right? So I'm gonna go for a coffee break. I'll be back.
Got fired for saying
Drink
that.
some water. I'm telling you, we need that lo-fi music. Whoa. Okay. What do you guys think about this?
That's a janitor.
That's a janitor's outfit for sure. For listeners, it is a hoodie, and it's a green hoodie with some orange stripes on it. It's ugly as fuck, and it does not look anything like a janitor's uniform.
No, it looks like Harry Potter merch or something.
Yes, it does look like Harry Potter merch.
Because she was struggling to even imagine what color their uniform might be. It's so out there for her to picture.
So this woman is doing her job. She's like, this is her job to teach people how to do. So here is this heroic woman on this live training session defending this nonsense AI creation so that she can move on with the fucking demo and get her job done.
This is not bad. Not bad at all. This kind of reminds me of like a football team or something, to be honest. So maybe this janitor works at a local college, and this is his uniform. You know, make up story, right? Hunter x Hunter vibe.
Yes.
Sure.
I guess.
What a story that was.
It's like maybe if it's like a football themed high school, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think this is like one of the most common ways that AI gets used in the modern enterprise is that like they build an AI tool. It's very expensive to build. Its outputs are fucking abysmal. And then it's the employee's job to defend whatever this digital hairball is that got coughed up by the slop machine because humans can be accountable for things.
And a small town in New Mexico has no water now. Important to remember.
Yeah, but if they move to the city now, they can just pay San Francisco rents and get an AI helmet, pop onto the fucking metaverse. If you check out Tech Blows on Instagram, that's tech_blows. Anderson and I just posted a video on there roasting the Horizon World's AI clothing generator. So don't miss that. We got a couple examples of terrible, terrible clothing that this thing has shot out. Like I said, as far as I can tell, the only people using this AI clothing generator are the people who are paid by Meta to demonstrate it via the Meta Horizon World's creator program, because it's a piece of shit that makes absolutely unredeemable slop. And the training video I showed you with Space Glitter Unicorn, that goes on, that's like the first 5 minutes are how to use the AI clothing generator tool. And then the next 20 minutes are the person like telling you how to use image editing software to edit the image that the AI actually generates, and then how to use like Blender 3D to do the 3D modeling thing to make it into an actual piece of clothing. What's the point, right? The AI does the only part that the AI does is generate the texture that goes on the outside of the garment, which is the part that humans are good at in the first place.
Right. And would be the enjoyable part of it. So
And would
it's
be the
like
part that anybody would want to do, yeah.
it's like a tutorial on how to use the AI and then how to undo whatever the AI did.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Great
Great.
world. But even if the AI tools were perfect, there could still not be a creator economy without users. So in October of 2022, the Wall Street Journal reported that Meta had lowered its year-end monthly active users goal. Monthly active users is the number of distinct users active in the game each month. They lowered their goal from 500,000 by the end of 2022 to 280,000. And that in October, the count stood at 200,000.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a big old whoa. Furthermore, the Wall Street Journal reported that only 9% of worlds built by creators are ever visited by more than 50 people. And most are never visited by anyone at all.
Wow. That's kind of haunting that there's all of these just like empty worlds. It's creepy.
That could be a good sci-fi story. Where
Totally.
you're like getting lost. You're lost, and all you can go is from one meta horizon world to another, and they're all empty. Except one of them, Mark Zuckerberg, still hanging out in the one with the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
He just likes it there.
It's like the good part of Mark's conscience got stuck in Horizon Worlds, and he's like, "You got to help me bust out."
Man, this sounds way more entertaining than the actual game. I'm way into this now. Sounds cool. It could actually be cool. No, it definitely doesn't sound like an ecosystem that's going to make anyone any money. So if users are bouncing off Horizon Worlds because it's full of annoying kids and dangerous predators and the graphics suck and there's nothing fun to do, you'd think they could at least moderate it, right? Why is it so hard to like have moderators who can respond to reports of bad behavior? It's pretty clear that Meta wants their technology to mediate every aspect of our social existence. You know, from our friendships to our team meetings to work to concerts to comedy open mics. You know, they want to be the thing through which all these social experiences happen, because the more relationships Meta can sort of get into the middle of, the more ways it can exploit those relationships for profit. But they don't want to actually control the relationships, right? I really don't think they do. Mark Zuckerberg hates it when anyone tries to make him control what people are doing and saying on his platforms. He won't silence COVID anti-vaxxers. He won't give like tasers to the guides in Horizon Worlds so they can like tase assholes. Even when there are kinds of speech that Facebook does moderate, like hate speech and political misinformation, they carve out exceptions for specific important users through their cross-check program. I think they stopped doing this, but the Wall Street Journal reported like they had this whole big program where if you had enough followers or friends on Facebook, they would just let you say racial slurs because you were a VIP. That's how you got to be a VIP, I guess.
Wow. Well, I worked with social media, and I remember in the fall of 2024 on Meta platforms that the accounts I was running would like often get flagged. And it's because they were running everything through like shitty AI sensors. So it would be like a random video would get flagged for pornography. So it was like the censorship they did have was terrible. But then as soon as Trump was elected, just all of those out the window. So now you can do literally whatever you want.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, it wasn't working before, and so why do it anyway, right? Just say whatever you want. My video the other day, I posted a video that was a clip from last episode about how Mark Zuckerberg fucks his Horizon Worlds avatar. And that got flagged. I tried to promote that.
Mm.
And that got flagged for politics. Like, I understand flagging it for you can't say that Mark Zuckerberg fucks his Horizon Worlds avatar. That makes sense. But it got flagged for being political, which is absolutely not.
No, it's
Not
yeah. I mean, we're talking about a universal experience in that one.
right. Right.
Maybe
Everybody can
maybe he
appreciate that.
programmed in though that like you can't say anything against like Daddy Zuck.
That's
like
true.
the same like Elon kind of has X algorithms to like
Yeah.
favor his posts, whatever.
Oh, for sure. I've got a Grok episode. There's a two-parter on Grok coming up after my break in a couple weeks, and hoo boy, what a shit show. Yeah. I think this is why. So like they want to be in the relationship. They want to be able to like make the relationship happen via their tools, but they don't want to control it. And this is why they're always looking out for solutions to fix their problems with AI moderation tools. Like a huge part of what makes AI attractive to companies, I think, is the fact that it can make decisions, or it can appear to make decisions, but it can't be held accountable for any of those decisions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, making moral choices is hard, and everybody's always mad at you when you make a moral choice at scale, and they try to hold you accountable. It's a big pain in the ass. But now we can just have AI make all these choices, which is amoral, but can give the appearance of making a moral decision that appears impartial because it's a computer. And then if it's wrong or if it does something stupid, they can just be like, oh, I don't know, man, it's the algorithm. We guess we just need to tune the weights better.
Yeah.
The bad news is it doesn't fucking work. So Zuckerberg said in 2016 that by the end of 2019, AI would be detecting the vast majority of problematic content on Facebook. In 2021, so 2 years after that deadline, a senior engineer and research scientist at Meta estimated that AI removed posts accounting for only 2% of views of policy violating hate speech. Now, I'm no fancy math doer, but I'm pretty sure 2% is not the vast majority.
I don't think so. And I'm an English major, so I don't
Yeah.
think that's what those words mean either.
2, let me think about that. Carry the 2. No, yeah, that's not right. A lot of progress has been made in AI since 2021, so maybe it works now. Maybe Facebook finally has a moderation working, and there are no more there are no more like prohibited speech problems on Facebook. I feel like I would have heard about that, but I haven't been on there for a while. Personally, I don't expect AI moderation features are going to save Horizon Worlds, but maybe if they just chuck enough GPUs at it, they'll solve ethics somehow. In the real world, we have lots of participatory institutions devoted to the problem of making calls about who's allowed to do and say what, right? We have lawmaking, jurisprudence, religion. We have things like common decency, politeness, codes of conduct. We have a long list of things that, like, maybe 30% of our time as a species is spent handling what people are allowed to do and not do in the public sphere. Even mob violence has its place, right? Like in real life, if you go to a public place and start shouting racial slurs, you get the shit kicked out of you.
Right.
Right? That's why you only ever see neo-Nazis in groups. It's always like 15 guys or more. You rarely see a neo-Nazi out on the street by himself doing Hitler salutes or whatever.
Right.
If you do that, you get decked like Richard Spencer. So in Horizon Worlds, you can't kick the shit out of anyone. I think that's a big problem. Although I guess in Horizon Worlds, the people you'd want to kick the shit out of are not Nazis, but children. Children.
Right.
The Nazis of Horizon Worlds. I guess what I'm saying is, to fix Horizon Worlds, they should let you poll the room on whether somebody is a child. And if the consensus is yes, they're a child, everybody should be allowed to beat the absolute piss out of that child.
They need to go through the same evolution that the real world did, where they start with witch trials. Who cares?
Yeah,
They'll figure
doesn't
it out.
matter. And if that child's avatar has to then walk around Horizon Worlds for the next few weeks in a full cast, even better.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
In August of 2024, Meta announced they were testing in-headset ads in Horizon Worlds, and it looks like the plan there is to have certain parts of the environment be like virtual billboards. and every player sees a different targeted ad when they look at the billboard. As far as I can tell, this never launched. And what's the point of launching ads if you don't have a user base, right? So I don't think it's going to happen for them. With their 2026 budget, it seems Meta has finally admitted to Horizon Worlds being a lost cause after its Reality Labs division saw operating losses since 2020 of $77 billion. Meta is winding down metaverse spending and focusing instead on their new AI glasses, the Meta Ray-Bans. I tend to think the metaverse is unattainable except through near universal human misery. And I think all these guys who have subscribed to the metaverse vision over the last couple decades would have known this if they'd read their sources critically. Like in Snow Crash, Hero lives in a 20 by 30 foot storage unit. In Ready Player One, the world is so polluted that nobody goes outside anymore. In The Matrix, everybody's an atrophied vegetable stewing in a vat of nutrient broth. Like, maybe these are all utopias to a company whose business model is to charge rent on human relationships. But I feel like we don't want to let the world get bad enough that the metaverse is appealing.
If that's the alternative, then we are fucked.
Yeah. I mean, $77 billion is just so much money. Just pissed down the drain. For comparison, in 2024, the Los Angeles Housing Department estimated that ending homelessness in LA would cost $22 billion.
Wow. Well, they can get property in Horizon Worlds.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe they did end homelessness. There's all these empty worlds now.
Totally. For the homeless to move into.
Yeah, just move into a flat brown plain and enjoy.
Start tilling the earth.
That's right. Get in there. Yeah. I just think that's so sad. Like, why that's all those people working for $77 billion that whole time, and this is what they created.
So lame.
We can do better. This is what you get when you teach men they can have anything they want if they're just talented enough at programming. Anderson, let's hear your socials one more time for the people in the back.
Yes, Anderson_Gronvold on Instagram. Check it out.
Get on there. And I'm Dan Slimman on Instagram. No underscore. All right. That's it for Technology Blows. I've been your host, Dan Slimman. This has been Anderson Gronvold. Anderson, what a pleasure to have you on the show. Let's do it again sometime for a shorter topic.
Whenever.
Listeners, it means the world to me that you've stayed with us to the very end of this 3-part series on Horizon Worlds, and I can't wait to talk to you again next week on the subject of, and this is not a joke, Marty, the inventory robot at my local supermarket.
That's going to be amazing.
Some real Connecticut inside baseball for next week. Farewell for now from Technology Blows.